Dear students, I welcome you to the lecture that deals with cultivation and utility of millets. The word millet is derived from the French word millet, meaning thousand, implying that a handful of millet contains thousands of grains. Millets are small seeded grasses that grow well in low fertility soil, low moisture, and extreme environmental conditions, especially in semi arid regions. In this era of climate change, it has become extremely important to choose the right crops that can withstand the stresses of climate change. Millets, for this reason, are a critical solution to climate change as they can withstand various environmental challenges such as drought and may not require chemical fertilizers and pesticides. Millets are regarded as minor cereals. Millets, along with maize, sorghum, oats, barley, are known as coarse cereals. These are used for food, feed, and fodder and are known to have immense nutritional value. Millets account for only 2% of the world's cereal production, and 95% of the world millet production comes from Asia and Africa. These species are known for their short growing season, completing one growth cycle from seeds to mature plants in 65 days with a shelf life of 2 or more years. Millets are one of the oldest cultivated grain crops of the world, whose 85% production is used as human foods and approximately 10% is used as animal feed. Following seed harvest, the fodder is used to feed animals, construction material, and fuel. Being a good source of energy and nutritious components, millets are a major source of food for millions of people in many arid and semi-arid parts of the world because of their ability to grow under adverse conditions. In addition to this, millets are superior to major cereals in terms of dietary fiber, resistant starches, vitamins, essential amino acids, storage proteins, and other bioactive compounds. Millets belong to the group of C4 plants, whereas major cereals such as rice, wheat, barley are C3 plants. C4 plants have an improved water and nitrogen use efficiency. These minimize photorespiration and save energy. Being C4 tropical plants, millets utilize the solar energy more efficiently than wheat and rice. Millets are the staple foods of the small farmer communities of India, Africa, China, and some parts of the Central America. In order to bring millets back to the mainstream and gain benefits from their nutritious properties, 2018 was declared as the National Year of Millets by the Indian government, whereas Food and Agricultural Organization declared the year 2023 to be the International Year of Millets, with the aim of increasing the production and productivity of millets throughout the globe. The International Crops Research Institute for Semi-Arid Tropics, ICRISAT, has conserved 6,804 finger millet germplasm accessions originating from 25 different countries. Now, the types of millets. Millets belong to the family of grasses, that is Poaceae. Subfamily Panicoideae consists of millets, Panicum millatium, that is proso millet, also known as common or broom millet, is mostly grown in China, Afghanistan, India, and Turkey. Panicetum glaucum, also known as pearl millet, which is also known as bajra or bulrush, is mostly grown in Africa, India, the United States. Then, Steria italica, also known as foxtail millet or Italian millet, is mostly grown in Eurasia, China, India, Australia. Then, Digitaria axilis, white phonia, and Digitaria eburia, black phonia, also known as hungry rice, are mostly grown in African Sahel region. Echinoclea esculenta, Japanese barnyard millet, also known as white millet, is mostly grown in Japan, China, Korea. Then Echinoclea frumentaceae, also known as Indian barnyard millet, is mostly grown in India, China. Then Panicum sumatrans, also known as little millet, blue panic, is mostly grown in China, Pakistan, India, Nepal, Malaysia. Then Paspalum sucrobiculatum, also known as Kodra, is mostly grown in India. On the other hand, subfamily Chloridoideae comprises of Argostis teff, that is Zucchini, Trother teff millet, also known as Abyssinian lovegrass, which is mostly grown in Ethiopia, Eritrea, South Africa, and then finally Eleusine coracana, that is finger millet, also known as ragi in India, is mostly grown in eastern and southern Africa. Then India, Nepal, China. Then pearl millet, Panistum glaucum, common millet, Panicum millesium, and foxtail millet, Steria italica, are the most widely grown millets. General morphology of millets. Millets are grown for their edible starchy seeds and for forage purposes. Millets plant height and growth cycle ranges from 1 meter in 75 days to 4 meter in 150 days. Millets initially develop from seminal roots and later form secondary roots called the adventitious or crown roots. The stems are composed of nodes and internodes which attain different lengths when the crops mature. Millet caryopsis are composed of the endosperm, embryo, and the seed coat, that is pericarp. Most of the starch is present in the endosperm. Protein and oil are found in the embryo, whereas the seed coat comprises of the cellulose and hemicellulose. Millets have two types of seeds, utricles and caryopsis. In the former, the pericarp surrounds the seed like a sac and usually breaks away from the seed. Finger, proso, and foxtail millets are utricles. Pearl, fonio, and teff millets are caryopsis, where the pericarp is completely fused to the seed. Small grain millets such as fonio and teff are less susceptible to insect attack as compared to the large grain millets. Finger millets can resist storage pests for as long as 10 years, and hence it has earned a popular name of famine crop. Foxtail millet, that is Steria italica, and its wild progenitor, green foxtail, Steria viridis, are considered as models for studying C4 photosynthesis, stress biology, and biofuel traits. Among the minor millets, Kodo is very robust, has the highest drought resistance, and offers a good yield in growing period between 80 to 135 days. The barnyard millet is quite robust and gives a modest yield in 50 to 100 days. The taller millet varieties have highest yielding capacity than shorter ones. In recent times, millets have been used as cover crops to suppress weeds, manage soil erosion, and improve soil fertility. Millets, along with other grasses, also play a role in promoting biodiversity, such as supporting soil organisms, pollinators, and other beneficial insects. Now we talk about origin of millets. Millets are known to be traditional crops in northern China, Yellow River Valley, where the first Chinese states emerged. The establishment of millet cultivation is attributed to Yellow River Basin around 5500 BC. The well-documented record of millets is from 6000 BC at Zhanglonggo site in eastern Inner Mongolia, far to the northeast in China. The dry temperature environment of Mongolian north might increase the possible domestication of millets in these areas. Also, the millet remains found in the Yellow River Valley and Western River Valley, indicated that the millet agriculture established in northern China during 7000 to 5000 before present. The common millet was the staple crop in northern China 10,000 years ago and later spread to Russia, India, and Middle East and then to Europe. The earliest millet record in Korea is believed to be 3000 to 4000 before Christ in late Chulmun period before rice adoption. The three major millets, that is sorghum, finger, and pearl millet, along with several varieties of wheat, barley, pea, have been reported in India from the pre-Harappan, that is 2750 to 2500 BC, then mature Harappan, that is 2500 to 1900 BC, and later Harappan, that is 1900 to 1400 BC cultures from the districts of Hisar, Ludhiana, and Saharanpur. The use of wild millets during early Holocene in Sahara region such as Nabta Palia, other sites in Egypt, Western Desert, Tadrat Akakas of southwest Libya, central Sudan are well documented. The Neolithic Sudanese Nile Valley was characterized by panicoid grasses. The Kintampo people are considered to be the earliest agriculturists of the West Africa. Samples from Birimi in North Ghana were dominated by pearl millet dating to 3500 before present, which fall in the same time range as the earliest known dates on pearl millet at the site of Dar, Tishit, and Mauritiana. The detection of a fossil molecule, Milliesin, in the Lake Le Bourget, French Alps, reveals the introduction of millets in the region around 1700 BC. Among the minor millets, teff and fonia are native of North Africa. Finger millet is a native of Ethiopia and then spread to Asia. Little, kodo, and one of the two species of barnyard millet, Echinocloa colonna, were domesticated in India, whereas Echinocloa crusgalli is a native of Japan. Now we shall talk about millets as food, feed, and fodder. Millets are a rich source of nutrients, energy, fat, iron, phosphorus, and phytochemicals, particularly phenolic compounds. Millets have numerous health promoting properties as they do not contain gluten and are beneficial for cardiovascular diseases and cancer due to high antioxidant activity and hypoglycemic properties. Millets have a significant hypoglycemic property when compared to the cereals. The glycemic index of wheat noodles incorporated with millets was significantly lower than wheat noodles. These hypoglycemic properties are attributed to the lipids, proteins, phenolic compounds of millets. A number of traditional millet foods and beverages are consumed in Africa, Indian subcontinent, and East Asia, such as whole grain foods, flatbreads, steamed meals, dumplings, porridges, puffed products, osiki kundu from Namibia, non-alcoholic beverage, traditional African beers, Ethiopian tala beer, Himalayan chang, a non-dairy probiotic drink using sprouted pearl millet indicated that pearl millet constituents had a positive impact on probiotic bacteria. Foxtail millet is used in the manufacture of baby foods, snack foods, dietary foods, traditional sweets, semolina, bran oil, breads. Pearl millet is used in a number of traditional ceremonies among the ethnic groups of northern Benin. It's used as a stimulator of milk production in wet nurses in Macaulay group and in the production of mash flour, traditional foods such as fora. In India, some of the pearl millet finds use as a healthy high quality grain among the health conscious consumers, whereas most of the pearl millet finds as an increasing demand in the cattle and poultry feed industry, wineries, that is, in whiskey production and starch industry. Most of the pearl millet flour in India is used in baking chapatis, that is, bajre ki roti. Numerous ancient sources stated that boiled millets relax the bowels. In West Africa, oji, a porridge, is the staple food and the infant meal that is prepared from fermented millet. Finger millet, that is Eleusine coracana, which is a staple of large segment of populations in India and Africa, is rich in calcium, dietary fiber and phenolic compounds, and is known for its anti-diabetic, anti-tumorigenic, atherosclerogenic effects, antioxidant and antimicrobial properties. The traditional sorghum and millet foods have a slow gastric emptying, which could be beneficial by providing energy from a meal over a longer time. Finger millet, vermicelli, and extruded snacks have a lower glycemic index content that makes them a healthier option than wheat, vermicelli, and other wheat snacks. Kodo millet, being highly nutritious, can be used in the formulation of nutraceuticals and functional foods. Minor millets are nutri-cereals due to their mineral bioavailability. Millets can substitute major cereals due to their numerous health benefits. Some of the millet based foods in Indian market are millet muesli, flour, dosa mix, multigrain choco malt, porridge, rava, chickpeas, flakes, cookies, organic baby food, pops, and roti. In Indian Himalayan region, millets are used as substitute for wheat and rice. Madira ki kheer is a barnyard millet porridge that is a popular sweet dish in Uttarakhand. People in northern Namibia are almost entirely dependent on pearl millet on food. Biofortified pearl millet, having a significant amount of iron and zinc, can eradicate nutritional deficiencies in young children and women. Central government has recently declared millets along with pseudo millets, that is buckwheat and amaranthus, as nutri-cereals due to their high nutritive value. Pearl millet is used as an appetizer, foxtail millet as a sedative and laxative, barnyard millet is used in the disease of spleen, finger millet in the tridosha blood disease, kodo millet in constipation, little millet as a blood purifier. Now, millets as feed and fodder. Economically important millets such as pearl millet, proso millet, finger millet produce grain and forage under some of the most adverse conditions of the world. The fodder is used to feed the livestock post seed harvest. Pearl millet feed is highly digestible in vegetable state and does not contain hydrocyanic acid. Turkey poults fed with proso millet were heavier than those fed with corn or sorghum. Foxtail millet is used as animal feed in Western countries, especially for caged and wild birds. Finger millet straw is one of the most preferred feedstuffs for cattle in South Asia. Pearl millet dry straw is stored and used throughout the year for animal consumption. Most of the demand of pearl millet in Haryana is coming from poultry farms. Barnyard millet, because of its rapid growing wide leaves, produces voluminous and highly palatable fodder and hence is an important source of fodder in Himalayan region. In Uttarakhand region, India barnyard millet fodder contributes 11.5% of the total fodder consumption of the state. The crop fodder, in terms of protein and calcium content, is considered superior to oat and rice. Now, we shall talk about global production and consumption. Around 97% of the world's millets are produced and consumed in developing countries, with only a little portion coming from the rest of the world. In 2019, 2020, and 2021, the world millet production was estimated to be 28.27 million tons, 30.82 million tons, and 30.08 million tons, respectively. Africa and Asia dominated the global millet production with a total of 29.10 million tons of millet production, followed by European Union with a total production of about 0.59 million tons and America with 0.35 million tons, whereas the countries of Australian subcontinent only contributed 3,58,000 tons in total global production. In 2023, the world millet production rose to 31.44 million tons. The major millet producing countries were India at 42%, that is 13.16 million tons, followed by Niger at 10%, that is 3.15 million tons, China at 9% with 2.7 million tons, Nigeria 6% with 2.03 million tons, Mali at 6% with 1.83 million tons, Sudan 5% with 1.67 million tons, Ethiopia at 4% with 1.15 million tons, and Senegal 3% with 1.09 million tons. The top millet producing states of India are Rajasthan 39%, Uttar Pradesh 17%, Gujarat 10%, Madhya Pradesh 10%, Haryana 8%. The government, along with several organizations, have ventured in the process of motivating cultivation, marketing, and consumption of millets for achieving food and nutritional security. The excess consumption of processed junk foods has led to increased incidence of obesity and diabetes. To combat this, there is a need of foods rich in complex carbohydrates, dietary fibers, and beneficial phytochemicals. The high content of gluten in whole grain cereals is an obstacle to develop healthy foods or nutraceuticals. Thus, millets are a good substitute for major cereals to overcome health problems like diabetes and obesity and can be consumed by people suffering from celiac diseases. Irrespective of being a potential source of essential nutrients, especially for the people of underdeveloped and developing countries, the millet consumption has not reached a significant level. Millets could be prepared and eaten as regional specialties such as chapati, dosa, pasta, bread, and cookies, as well as popping dinners, porridge, and other dishes. Millet grains are also consumed as traditional medicines in order to preserve health. Millet consumption has been proved beneficial for obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, cancer, celiac disease, and other degenerative diseases. In last few decades, most of the millet grains in India have been diverted to industrial uses such as animal feed, starch, potable alcohol, and ethanol production. The decreasing consumption of millets can be attributed to the changing customer tastes and preferences, supply of rice and wheat at cheaper prices, low shelf life, poor social status, and difficult preparations. Irrespective of this, millets are still the staple food for millions of poor people in Asia and Africa, and people need to be aware of the benefits of millets to be included in their diets. Now, we shall talk about nutritional composition of millets. Millets are a rich source of nutrients, energy, unsaturated fatty acids, iron, phosphorus, and phytochemicals, particularly phenolic compounds. Minor millets are nutricereals owing to their higher mineral bioavailability. Millets can substitute major cereals owing to their numerous health benefits. In millets, some phenolic compounds have anti-nutrient properties, but these compounds also act as antioxidants, reducing agents, metal chelators, singlet oxygen quenchers, and inhibitors of digestive and regulatory enzymes, thereby promoting human health. Anti-nutrients such as phenolic acids, phytate also reduce the colon and breast cancer risk. On the other hand, these compounds reduce the bioavailability of minerals like iron and zinc. These anti-nutrients can be reduced by various traditional processing techniques such as decortication, fermentation, germination, and malting. Millets constitute of essential nutrients, and protein content of millet grains is equal to or superior to that of wheat, Triticum aestivum, rice, Oryza sativa, maize, Zea maize, and sorghum, Sorghum bicolor. The approximate protein content of millet grain is 18 to 15% dry weight. These proteins contain fractions of albumins, globulins, cross-linked prolamins, gluteins, and the major protein fraction in millets are prolamins. Millets are gluten-free and owing to their hypoallergic properties are considered as a suitable source of dietary protein. The protein quality depends upon the essential amino acids present in the protein. Millet protein contains high amount of essential, non-essential amino acids such as phenylalanine, proline, leucine, serine, aspartic and glutamic acid, and tyrosine. Foxtail millet protein is considered superior owing to its amino acid content such as lysine, threonine, and valine. Reportedly, pearl millet, when compared to sorghum and corn, has more lysine, threonine, methionine with higher digestibility values. However, amino acid profile of pearl millet is comparable to wheat, barley, and rice. There is 50% higher methionine levels in finger millet and pearl millet as compared to pigeon pea and chickpea. The digestion of proteins is hindered by constituents such as phenolic compounds, tannins, phytates, and a high amount of fibrous tissues. The presence of anti-nutrients has been known to reduce the in vitro protein digestibility of millets by enhancing protein cross-linking. The net protein utilization of minor millets is in the range of 46 to 54%. Millet carbohydrates consist of starch 60 to 75%, non-starchy polysaccharides 15 to 20%, and free sugars 2 to 3%. Millets are considered as a sustainable and environment-friendly substitute for the manufacture of resistant starch that is known as dietary fiber. Millets are a rich source of dietary fiber, and the total dietary fiber of millets is similar or even higher as compared to the other cereals. The mean total dietary fiber content of small millets is in the range of 156 to 325 grams per kg. The soluble dietary fiber is beneficial in regulating the blood insulin levels, while the IDF helps in the improvement of bowel movement and increase the excretion of bile acids. IDF was reportedly higher than wheat, maize, and barley. The lipid content of millets range from 1.43 to 6 grams per 100 grams. Unsaturated fatty acids are present in larger quantities and provide health benefits such as reducing cardiovascular risk. Carotenoids, phytosterols, and tocopherols are among the 3 to 5% of non-saponifiable substances. Millets are rich in fatty acids, and the most predominantly found fatty acid in millet grains are linoleic acids, followed by oleic, palmitic, alpha-linoleic, stearic, myristic, behinic, and erucic acids. Millet seeds have approximately 7% oil content, which is less than some other oil seeds such as cottonseed and canola. The oil contains approximately 65.5% polyunsaturated, followed by 25.2% monounsaturated and 8.1% saturated fatty acids. Foxtail millet bran oil has healthy biological properties because it is rich in polyunsaturated fatty acids, that is linoleic, linolenic, and monounsaturated fatty acids, that is oleic acid. These are responsible for lowering bad cholesterol, low density lipoprotein, and retaining good cholesterol, high density lipoprotein in the blood. The mineral content of millets is higher as compared to other cereal grains, and the iron contents are particularly high. The small millets were rich in minerals such as magnesium, phosphorus, calcium, iron, potassium, copper, zinc, chromium, molybdenum, selenium, and manganese. Millets have potential to fight micronutrient deficiency. The highest content of calcium is found in finger millet. Small millets contain higher amounts of phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, iron, copper, zinc, manganese, chromium, and molybdenum than that of sorghum. The regular consumption of millet results in significant increase in hemoglobin levels, significantly increasing the bioavailability of iron and ferritin levels, thereby reducing iron deficiency anemia. Millets are a good source of vitamins that are required for normal physiological functioning of the human body. Example, proso millet is a rich source of B vitamins such as B6 and folic acid. Millets are a rich source of vitamin E, tocopherol, and tocotrienols, which is a natural antioxidant. Matured grains have shown low levels of vitamin C. Pearl millet grains are an adequate source of carotene, a precursor of vitamin A, and high concentration of B vitamins were found to be present in the aleurone layer and germ of pearl millet. Finger millet grains are rich in nitroloside, a molecule that is particularly poisonous to a cancer cell only. Pearl, foxtail, little, common, and barnyard millets are rich in thiamine, while pearl and proso had moderate levels of riboflavin and fair levels of niacin have been reported in proso and little millet. For millions, millets act as an important source of energy, providing 330 to 362 kilocalories, which is better or comparable with rice and sorghum. Owing to their nutritional attributes, millets can be potentially developed into nutraceutical foods for sustainable health development. So, dear students, I hope you enjoyed the learning about cultivation of millets in this lecture. Thank you very much.